And we are on. We're live. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Freedom Revolution relaunch of Laurie Palmer and her Healthy Living Revolution mission. We're so excited for Laurie. My name is Melanie Hurley, and I'm hosting tonight along with Dave and Mindy Bond, Josh Settles, and Neil Tooze. And we're here to talk about some of the toxic concerns in our world and the solution to those. So we're so glad you could join us. So I want to start with a question. Have you noticed what's been happening to health in our nation? It's a little hard to miss it right now, but sick has become normal. So autoimmune diseases, cancer, infertility, heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, obesity, and now this crazy virus. So what happened? Where did we go wrong? Have you guys ever wondered that like I have? Because it wasn't that way when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I remember one person with diabetes, no such thing as cancer. Like it just wasn't, all of these things that I listed were mostly diseases that only the old had the privilege of getting, and now they're just running rampant. So we're here tonight to offer you a solution to the toxic concerns in our world. And some of those are finances, time, and then of course, health and well-being. So we need a way to keep families intact. That's my passion, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So first, I just want to talk about a couple resources. We have a couple of great things to offer you tonight. So be sure to have Laurie get these for you after we finish tonight. We have a really cool website called the Healthy Living Revolution website. So she'll send you that. And we've got cool cookbooks and all sorts of free resources on there. So we want you to really enjoy those resources. So now we're going to talk about nutrition, which is the foundation of good health. We have to flood our bodies with the most important foods that we could ever eat, which are raw fruits, vegetables, and berries. Time magazine a while ago reported that they are not just good for you, they are actually so good for you that they can save your life. So fruits, veggies, and berries are critical to our health and well-being. And now more so than ever, but it's hard to get them. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I worry about who touched them. So we're supposed to eat a wide variety of 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, fresh and raw fruits and vegetables. But who does that, first of all? And who can even get fresh fruits and veggies in the Midwest in the winter, right? So I recently bought some greens and noticed in little fine print on the label, it said that it had been harvested 12 days earlier. That's not fresh. A lot of nutrition's gone out of it at that point. So I have to wonder, could that be one reason that why our country is not as healthy as it used to be? I'm going to mute some people out because we're getting a little background noise, just so we get a clean recording. Okay, and did you know that nutrient levels in our produce is actually decreasing? This place called the Cushy Institute, funny name, analysis of nutrient data from 1975 to 1997 found that average calcium levels in 12 fresh vegetables dropped 27%. Iron levels, 37%. Vitamin A levels, 21%, and vitamin C levels, 30%. Another study concluded that one would have to eat 8 oranges today to derive the same amount of vitamin A as our grandparents would have gotten from 1 orange. So it kind of starts to all add up. And yet those fruits and vegetables and berries are still the most important foods that we eat. So the American Cancer Society does millions of dollars of research every single year. And here's the conclusion that they came to. eat more fruits and vegetables. Not medication, not anything else. Eat more fruits and vegetables. So half of your plate at every single meal is supposed to be filled with raw, fresh produce. That's at least 2.5 cups of produce every day that spans all of the colors of the rainbow. And that's what leads to vibrant health and disease prevention. So is that intimidating to anyone besides me? That's a pretty tall order to eat all of that produce every day. So I'm going to toss the baton to Mindy Bond, RN, CPN, a pediatric ER nurse who is serving on the front lines right now in this crazy world. So we're grateful for that. And so Mindy's going to explain as a medical professional why it makes sense to her to take Juice Plus and tell other people about it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's so fun to be here for Laurie's people. I love it. So what is Juice Plus? It is over 30 different raw, vine-ripened whole foods. It's non-GMO, which makes me super happy, and NSF certified to be super pure. So no herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals. It's like organic, but better. So I like to call it my salad in a capsule or my lazy juicing. It's like juicing, but better. So do you want to show us? You can be my Vanna White.
Yes, I will.
It's important to understand the process that the fruits and vegetables go through to get from fruits and vegetables to capsules. So our fruits and vegetables are all completely vine ripened. They remain attached to the plant until the nutrition is fully developed. And those last few days of ripening are of integral importance to get all of the nutrition that we need. The fruits and vegetables are then harvested and washed and ground up, pulverized, peels and seeds and all. And that just allows for us to get so much more nutrition. So for example, in an orange, about 80% of the vitamin C is in the peel of an orange. And I don't know, my daughter is the only one I know who's ever enjoyed eating orange peels. She's great, but she's 2 and she's a little weird that she eats orange peels. Yeah. So then that pulverized produce is slowly dried at a very low temperature to preserve all of the live nutrients. And then that powder is placed into either capsules or chewables. And this is what I really love about Juice Plus. I'm a total science nerd, and I love the research behind it. It's scientifically proven to do spectacular things in the human body. There's over 40 published studies in peer-reviewed journals that are very reputable, like the American Journal of the College of Cardiology and many more, just showing it does amazing stuff. It's a food, it's not a vitamin. So it literally has a nutrition label because even the FDA recognizes that it's food and not a supplement at all. So that's amazing. It's the same label you'd see if you went to the store and bought a bag of broccoli. There's no warning label on it. It's safe for people of all ages. Pregnant, nursing, this was my prenatal. It's got the folate in it. It's safe for elderly and kids. My 2-year-old loves it. Professional athletes, Neil will talk to us about that. Everybody can take it. We also have chocolate and vanilla complete, which is a vegan gluten-free protein. It's got fiber and amino acids and different fruits and vegetables hidden in there. It's great as a breakfast or a post-workout recovery or a snack. I like to use it at night to combat my sweet tooth. We also have omegas that are spectacular, and the research starting to come out on those makes me so happy. They're brand new, but they figured out how to bypass the middle fish and use the algae that the fish eats to make the omega-3s in the first place. So no more fish burps, hallelujah, because that's gross. And no worrying about mercury or other contaminants from the ocean. And then we also have Tower Garden, an aeroponic growing system to grow in your house or on your patio, and they are the coolest thing ever. And then finally, we have a 4-month program with a 10-day jumpstart called the Shred 10. So together we shred the foods and habits that maybe aren't serving us well, like wine every evening. I really like wine, guys. And stay closely connected for support and encouragement. So let us know if you want more info about that. So super briefly, I have come from being a nursing student who was really sick, not sleeping well, not taking care of myself, working really long hours, to fast forward 13 years. I've worked as a pediatric ER nurse, getting coughed and sneezed on, and I'm super healthy, almost never get sick. I've lost weight, healed acne, migraines resolved, and just have a ridiculous amount of energy. I was working 14-hour shifts in the ER pregnant with no problem. This stuff is just amazing. So now we get to hear from Neil, which I'm super excited about. He is a gym owner and an awesome dad, and he's super smart.
And we'd like to hear from Neil why Juice Plus made sense to you as an athlete and a gym owner. He is muted. Oh, there we go.
All right, gotcha. So guys, thank you so much for having me on the call. It's really fun to see a lot of faces I haven't seen in a while. I'm actually at my gym right now. So setting up one of my trainers for his very first Zoom chat with, it looked like dozens of athletes that he works with. And another trainer was finishing up her class virtually. So anyways, why does Juice Plus make sense as a athlete and a business owner? I think as an athlete, and I'd still consider myself an athlete. I'm 36 and I'm still very, very active. And I have two little children running around, right? And if I'm going to keep up, if I'm going to recover, if I'm going to feel good, I have to make sure my nutrition is on point. And Juice Plus is kind of, for me, honestly, it's like the no-brainer. It's almost cheating. I feel like I'm like, it's because it makes sense, and you're getting that high level of nutrients in it that is really difficult to get anywhere else, all things considered. So again, for recovery's sake, for inflammation, and just feeling great, and always moving, always kind of pushing it. As an athlete of any age, you want to have that edge. You want to be in tip-top shape nutritionally, because it'll affect all of those areas and more, even injury prevention, right? If you're still recovering and trying to push it more, you're tempting there. So that's what I would say about that. And as a business owner, I've been a distributor the entire time. I've been taking it as well. And it's been wonderful, because it's such a reassuring feeling for me to know that I can recommend such a high quality product, right? It's going to be the best thing for you. They're going to get the best results as quickly as, as anything else out there, right? And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for results. They want to feel good. They want to, whether it's weight loss or just general health, they want to see a change. They want to experience a change. And so this has been probably, it has been my number one go-to to recommend to people when they want to enhance or take their health and well-being to the next level. So that's what I would say about all that.
Thank you. I love that. I love how you said it's almost like cheating.
It is.
No, it is. That's just such a really good way to put it. I've never heard it put that way, and it's so true. And you're right. People are just looking for results. Who doesn't want results? So you nailed it. Thank you. So now we're going to hear from Josh Settles. And we'd just like to hear from you, Josh, why Juice Plus makes sense to you.
Okay, well, the long story short is this. Neil actually was one of the people on the forefront of trying to get me to eat healthier for years. I've been training with Neil for 6 years, maybe 7 now. And once a week, not anything spectacular. If I were to, you'd see the pear shape if I stood up. I'll just leave it at this. Okay, so, but the long story short is, I'd come in with a Frosty And he'd say things like, Josh, you can't outrun a bad diet, but I hated working out so much that I was just bringing garbage with me to make me feel good in advance of or after, I'd stop at McDonald's on the way home. But finally, he about broke my arm off, and I got going on Juice Plus. Now, I mean, the fact that he had to go to such extremes, because he's like literally Uncle Neil to my kids, and I'm Uncle Josh to his kids. We're not related by blood, but we're that close. So the fact that it came to that, he said, look, Josh, well, I mean, it's not rocket science. You just got to realize for yourself that if you don't eat more fruits and vegetables, that it's going to be problems for your body. And if you're not going to do it naturally, this is a great way to at least springboard in the right direction, And so I did. And not very faithfully. I was probably taking it every other day or so because I'm just a bit scatterbrained, quite frankly. And I've got the typical guy attitude, I'm too cool. The ITC disease, right? I'm too cool, right? So he got me going though. And even just taking it like every other day or so, by the end of the first 4 months, the shipment comes in a 4-month package, so to renew all of your blood cells over that period of time. And as the things you eat become your blood, and as your blood affects everything in your body, then you notice a variety of things, right? So after 4 months, I was like, you know what? I don't even know. I noticed a difference. I think I'll just cancel it. He said, okay, sure, Josh. Let's go through a review of where you've been, And so he starts asking me these questions, and not like life-changing questions, but things like, how are your teeth? Have you noticed that they're not as bare? How the gums kind of recede, and then you can see your tooth like as it goes like this, and you see that part of the tooth. Well, that wasn't a problem, but I had noticed that my gums weren't bleeding when I was flossing anymore. So not like life-changing, but I was like, oh, Juice Plus did that? Okay, all right. And then question after question, and finally got to how's your respiratory health? My allergies and asthma was great. I mean, better than it had been in a long time. Not gone. Still, like would have like a morning clear out kind of thing. But I am a terrible, terrible allergy sufferer. And the fact that over that 4 months, just taking Juice Plus every other day or so, I'd say I averaged probably 4 days a week, that my allergies were significantly better. And I just thought it was a light allergy season. Turns out I'm hearing on the news, like just days later, it's the worst allergy season on record. What? Okay, all right. So, Juice Plus is helping me with my allergies, my asthma, and slowly but surely over time, and so a few things, right, at first, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll keep going on the Juice Plus. And then other things, I noticed like the inflammation in my knuckles going down. I jammed a knuckle playing basketball in high school, and it had stayed that way for 2 decades afterwards. And here in my 40s, that had loosened up, and I accidentally cracked it one day, and I was like, what? So that was a weird, strange thing I didn't expect it, and again, not life-changing, but something, one of those canaries in the coal mine that showed me that things were changing inside my body without me even noting. So I did note, better energy, better sleep, that sort of thing, better skin health, ugly things like athlete's foot not showing up anymore. In the winter, when it's so dry and cold in Chicago, my back wasn't itchy all the time. I used to sit forward in church as I'm listening to the sermon. My wife would gently scratch my back so sweetly, and I'd note myself like, I'm fine, leave me alone. I'm trying to listen to the sermon, So little things. But then Neil said, why don't you get going in the business of it? Now, I've been taking Juice Plus as a happy customer for, I don't know, a year and a half or so. And he'd been saying, you should talk to people about Juice Plus. I mean, you already are. You may as well just, instead of sending customers to me, may as well just build your own customer base. You get a discount that way, and why not? And I essentially was paranoid about pairing the gospel with anything that would maybe give Jesus a black eye. Well, Neil was like, are you noticing good things in yourself? Yes. And you don't want that for other people. Why? And that was it, right? I was like, well, no, I guess I do want that for other people, starting with my own parents. And so anyway, that conversation got going, and I had to talk with my wife and said, she would not touch it. Nope, he's your friend. You decided to do it, fine. She wouldn't touch it. So I told her, well, honey, I'm going to get going on the business. You gotta try it. I can't have people asking me, well, what do your wife think? And I'm like, well, she won't touch the stuff, So I got her going, and about a year later, Miracle Baby Zach. And we had 8 years between our Oops-a baby that had happened 10 years ago now, and the baby that we had slowly stopped praying for. And that Christmas, we had started praying for the baby again, and or not we, I guess, and it was just a total surprise, and it was one of those things where God had provided the means for us to heal our bodies through Juice Plus in order to be healthy enough to have that baby again, which was like, I'm sure you guys can relate in some way. You've got your own personal trauma that you'd like to see different in your health, but for us, that was like the miracle to end all miracles. So anyway, so we got going in the business, and it's what we call the freedom revolution. The healthy living revolution is essentially what happens when you put 30, 60, 90 fruits and vegetables in your body every day. Who does that? Nobody. So you build your health that way. But as you get going in the business, if that's something that's attractive to you, that becomes something where you're affecting the health of other people. So let me talk about that briefly. So the freedom living revolution is our business community. It's the main way that we talk to people about Juice Plus, and bringing freedom through improved health. It's important to know that 80% of everybody who consumes Juice Plus is just a happy customer. So there's a very low ratio of business people to customers, you might say. For others, I know it's more like 2 to 1, that sort of thing. So we've got a good, healthy ratio in our company. And we have we're serving these customers, one at a time. Partnering with Juice Plus is a business opportunity, and we're paid well to do a lot of good for a lot of different people, or a little good for a few people. And regardless of whether you do a little or a lot, you might be the person who makes all the difference to one person, and that to me was the biggest thing for my parents. So let's address a couple of questions about the Juice Plus company. How does it work? The business is open to anybody 18 years and older. It's called a virtual franchise because essentially you pay $1 a week or $52 a year to be a partner in the business. And they provide us a virtual platform by which to do business, so we can take that anywhere we want. And running a business from any device, anytime, anywhere, that seems poignant in the moment in history we're in right now. So you can earn residual income. So essentially what happens is somebody gets going on Juice Plus and they realize the change that's going on in their body, and they're like, I wouldn't put it down if you paid me not to. And so, the work that you did with that person over, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months of talking to them a little bit by a little bit about Juice Plus ends up being something that provides income as they continue, with their order over the course of the rest of their life. So that residual just keeps coming in. There's no inventory to keep. I know that that's a real concern for people. That's one of the things that I loved most. I wasn't going to feel burdened about having a bunch of stuff that I had to get rid of. The only thing that I've got in my house is the things that me and the 4 people and 2 dogs in my family use, and that's it. So, so you're a blessing whether you do a little or a lot, but the only Juice Plus that you'll touch is your own. There's no glass ceiling or income. There's no restriction. There's no territorial restrictions. The Juice Plus company is in over 20 countries, and we're just about to open up Mexico, which is a big deal. So that's exciting. And what's great about Juice Plus, the company, is that it's been around for half a century now, over 50 years. The president and founder, Jay Martin, is still at the helm today and providing vision, leadership, and support. It has a great team around him for succession when that eventually happens. So we're a privately held company. We're debt-free. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. And the family benefits package at the top positions include medical, dental, disability, life insurance, long-term care, chiropractic care, prescription care, along with college assistance. There's a scholarship for people on scholarship, and monthly expenses allowances. So the business can produce short-term cash or long-term wealth building, and a retirement strategy, essentially, for people who can't see the end of the road, the working road. So, and by the way, not only does the Juice Plus company inspire healthy living, but healthy giving as well. We've impacted over 1 million families with the largest survey of its kind, the Juice Plus Children's Health Study, where when an adult purchases a trio or quad of capsules or gummies, the company will send the fruit and vegetable to a kid over the age of 4 for free, which is a pretty fantastic benefit. And we're sponsors of the St. Jude's Memphis Marathon Weekend, as well as involved in the Boys and Girls Club. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's not, an all-encompassing explanation, but it's definitely a good start in you understanding some of what the Juice Plus company does through the Freedom Revolution. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to help me out. And we're going back to Wonder Woman or Dave? We're going to Dave. So Dave Bond, take it away.
No, not Dave Bond.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I just want to say something real quick, and then we'll probably start with Mindy, is what I'm thinking. But Dave and Mindy are my kids. Mindy's my daughter. She's married to Dave. And the cool thing is that the three of us have a family business. My son is in the business with us as well. It's just been such a huge blessing to us. So we just want to tell you a little bit about that. So I was thinking that we would start with Mindy. Could you tell us a little bit about why you decided to partner with the Juice Plus company?
Sure. I always swore I was never going to be one of those people. You know the people. I loved my job as a nurse. I was changing lives. I was happy with that. It was great. I watched mom working the business and I was happy for her that it was great for her, but I knew it was not for me. Yet here I am. So through a string of events, starting with Mr. Dave Bond, the business came into our life, and Dave really caught the vision of the business and what it could accomplish for our family. And so he was really the driving force in making that happen. And now we get to do it together. And I love this business. It has grown to a point of I'm only working 2 days a week as a nurse now. And so I'm home with my daughter 5 days a week. And I love that. This business is fantastic for busy people because it can be done in little bits of time here and there. So I work my business during nap times and puzzle times and Sesame Street breaks and all of those kinds of stolen moments. And it has grown to a place now that it just about pays our mortgage. And we live in Arlington Heights in a nice house. So that's not a small amount of money. So this business has it's allowed us to travel. It's allowed us to just have a blast and to have a lot of freedom and peace that we wouldn't have otherwise had because of this residual income that keeps coming in. And so we had a season after my daughter born that I was really sick because I hemorrhaged. And it was so awesome to have that check still coming in. So it has been a game changer for our family.
That's so cool. I love that. And I love the part where you talk about the freedom and the peace that it's given you. That just really resonates with me because I know that's true for our whole family. But I think we need to hear from Dave Bond. Now, I think the cool thing about Dave is that he's still working a full-time job out there in the world. Well, not out there in the world right now. We're all in our homes. And yet he has started the business recently and learning how to do that alongside his full-time job. So Dave, tell us a little bit about why you decided to do that and what you like about it.
Yeah, so I started the business recently back in February and signed up as a partner. And I've been taking Juice Plus for Mindy introduced it to me back when we first started dating. And it's funny because at first I was just like, well, that's great for everybody else, but I don't need this. So because it made a lot of changes in my lifestyle. So I started eating better already and started exercising. And but then it's just really cool because a lot of my family started taking it. And then I just saw like a lot of changes happening with them. And so I was like, okay, there's something to this because it's happening right before my eyes. So, okay, so sign me up. I'm going to start taking this. And so I noticed that like, when I worked out, I recovered a lot faster. Like with what Josh was saying too about skin. So I had like really bad adult acne, like had acne growing up, like in my teens and, also into my adult years. And so that like was clearing up a lot faster, like if I broke out and just healed. So that was awesome to see that. And then recently I got off of a medication too, from just a lot of the changes that I made, with also introducing Juice Plus into my life. So, so back in February, decided to become a partner. And so just with, it was really cool because the opportunity came up for me to sign up as a partner. And so I was just thinking like, well, with everything that like I've seen since I've started taking Juice Plus and everything that I know about the business, like why wouldn't I jump on this opportunity, to sign up? And so, so it's just been awesome because I recently promoted to a qualifying sales coordinator. So Minnie and I have a bonus coming, which we're really excited about. So once everything reopens, we're gonna go downtown, go to a hotel, stay away somewhere. So very excited. Yeah, but then like, like with what Mindy was saying, so I work a full-time job, and then also do like a lot around the house. And so I just would have to figure out how to use those stolen moments to work my business. So, like if I like, was on a break, I'd take a few minutes here and there just to send messages to people and just connect with them and just, try and meet them where they're at. And so it's just, it's just awesome to like to see like it's funny because like before I signed up, I was thinking like, well, with everything I have going on, I don't know if I can do this. But then I was thinking like, okay, I'm just going to sign up, do this, and then just figured out it's actually a lot easier than I thought it was. So so I'm really happy about that.
Cool, Dave. I love that story, and I love being in business with you. I mean, for me, it's like a dream come true to be in business with my family. So when I signed an application and paid $50 14 years ago, I had no idea how my life would change. So 14 years ago, when Juice Plus found me, I was in my late 40s, feeling tired, heavy, lethargic, and not at all experiencing the vibrant life I'd always dreamed of. I had excruciating insomnia, debilitating joint pain, frequent colds and flus, and I'd been on a diet for literally decades, and I was over it. I was a wife, a homeschool mom of 3, teaching Bible studies, and most days, honestly, just trying to get through the day. So this was my normal, but somehow something about it didn't seem quite right to me. So I was praying for an answer. And then as far as finances, my husband's high school teacher income paid the bills very nicely, but it wasn't leaving much room to travel and have fun to the level that we'd been dreaming of. And something about that didn't seem quite right either, because this exchanging time for dollars thing was getting kind of old. So after I started taking Juice Plus, I started to sleep better. And it was gradual, and yet, I started to feel better. I'm jumping ahead to the sleep. So what happened was gradual, and yet it was pretty profound because I did start sleeping better. My energy returned. My afternoon nap disappeared. I went through the first winter of my life without a cold or a flu. Eventually, so for me, it's been 14 years now. Eventually, I went down 3 sizes. I got off thyroid meds. The joint pain is about 95% gone, and I started running again. So I've been getting my life back, which is really cool. So I feel more joy and more of a sense of well-being. So then, as far as the business goes, it just found me. I didn't mean to, you guys. I promise I didn't mean to. But people started noticing the changes in me really before I noticed them in myself. And they wanted to know what was happening with me and jump on the bandwagon, which was a huge surprise to me. So when I started sharing Juice Plus with my friends and family, I realized this was exactly what I'd been looking for. And here was a way to be in community with some of the most phenomenal people I have ever met while doing something really meaningful and helping to provide for the family. So this Bible study leader accidentally gained a nutrition ministry that's been more fulfilling to me than anything I've ever done before. So now I'm impacting hundreds of lives every day while having a blast and somehow accidentally making a pretty nice paycheck doing it. So I have the satisfaction of knowing that there are people out there who will never know the diseases they did not get because they were taking Juice Plus. And I can't ever know for sure what was prevented because it doesn't work that way. But I sure do know the joy of picking up the phone on a regular basis and having people stumbling over themselves, trying to find the words to thank me for this thing that got resolved in their body, whatever it was, and how it's changed their family health picture and how grateful they are. So now I can simultaneously pay for my son's college tuition at a private school, by the way, and provide for my husband and I in our retirement, in his retirement years, really, and do all of this, again, with total peace and confidence. So I signed an application, I paid $50, and I gained an income, a family business, a purpose, a community, and really a larger family. So I don't know if this is for you or not, but perhaps you could find some of those things in this mission as well. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight and honoring Laurie really with your presence. So we bring to you a story of hope, of healing, and vibrancy. This product is so unique and of such high quality that it attracts a very high quality person. And this business model is a perfect one to share this amazing product. So as a team, we're fighting against normal. It's pretty normal to be sick as a nation, and even the doctors need to understand that, but we say, heck no to that. We are building a team of powerful men and women to change the health of the nation, and we know we can do that. We're keeping families intact, and we're doing it one family at a time, and we invite you to join us. So there's 3 ways that you can join us. You can click on Laurie's website, which she can provide for you, and be a preferred customer. This is number 1. And your Juice Plus will ship right to your house. It will come every 4 months until you don't want it to, and which really, that's not going to happen anyway. And you'll be receiving our preferred customer pricing. Piece of cake. So number 2, and Josh spoke briefly about this, I think, the president and founder of our company set up a foundation called Healthy Starts for Families, where a child age 4 through full-time college student can receive free product for up to 4 full years when their parent or other sponsoring adult takes Juice Plus. So if that number 2 is of interest to you, ask Laurie to tell you more about that. And then the 3rd way you can join us is that you can become one of our Healthy Living partners. You can simply get 2 other people to try the product with you, and in return, you have the privilege of purchasing Juice Plus at non-retail pricing and receiving a 5% discount for life. Pretty cool. So we hope you'll ask yourself, who do I know that needs to hear about this? And what if Juice Plus could help them? So if you do think of someone, we would love to invite them to an event just like this. And just a reminder that after we're done, Laurie will send you the link to our Healthy Living Revolutions website, so you can check that out. So I just want to end by saying congrats to Laurie. This has been a blast to meet some of the people who are important to you. And I just want to ask you, Laurie, in closing, if you have anything, any final thoughts for your friends who came out tonight. You got to unmute. Let me unmute you.
I know, right? It's so funny.
We did speak about your technology issues.
Anyway,
I did the same thing.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, thanks for getting on. I appreciate it. And I know that, I've noticed some things that have changed in my own health and body that I have been very thankful for. I have also gotten off of thyroid medicine, and I have pretty much gotten off of blood pressure medication, which has been a blessing. Hair, nails, acne, things that I've noticed. And tonight, when Josh was talking about his joint, I was like, oh yeah, I've had a thumb that I fractured like in my early 20s playing softball, and it had a big knot on it, and that knot is like not there, and I have full flexibility, which I hadn't had in like 20 years or something. So that was just, like, oh, could that be? But anyway, so I have to notice the differences, and I just appreciate you getting on and supporting me and, listening to what Juice Plus has to offer.
That's really awesome. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. I'm going to stop recording, and then if you have any questions, you can let us know.